Good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and here I am for some, you guessed it, Sonics basketball. Yep, this is the only Sonics basketball that actually exists in this entire universe where I'm actually going through an entire Sonics season, going through the entire 1998-1999 season, rewriting history. The Sonics will be going up against the Utah Jazz. They are 39-32, while the Seattle SuperSonics, they are now the second worst team in the NBA at a record of 24-47. Well, let's get right to it. All right, let's go play some basketball. And let's see the power rankings. Yep, they are just behind the Hornets. Woo! Insanity. I wonder if Karl Malone's available. I hope he is, because I actually want to play against the mailman. I think he's also injured. Trying to figure that out. Yep, Karl Malone is available, along with Hersey Hawkins. And John Stockton and Karl Malone and Jeff Hornacek. Let's get right to basketball, shall we? All right. It's going to be at the Key Arena. This should be a lot of fun. It's going to be Jerome James against Greg Oberstag, and the Sonics have the ball. And we are underway here at the Key Arena. Now here's Jerome James. And here's Rashard Lewis with a mid-range jumper. He misses, and rebound Oberstag. Now here's Brian Russell. Goes for a shot, and he makes it. And the Jazz get on the board. And now here's Lewis for three. And a three-pointer is made. Now here's Jamie Watson. And now here is Stockton. He is blocked by Jerome James. And now here comes Watson. He goes for Stevens, and he makes it. And the Sonics now take a 5-2 lead. Now here's Karl Malone. Now here's Russell, and he is blocked by Lewis, and now it's out of bounds. Now here's Jeff Hornacek. Now here's Hornacek for three. Oh, he makes it. And now out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Now here's James. And he misses it. And now John Stockton, he brings up the ball. And now here's Brian Russell looking for a shot. And here's Oberstag. And now Stevens with the rebound. And now here's Rodman to John Stockton. And he's fouled, and he will go to the line. Jared, nope, it is not Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. It is not. This is the 1999 season. Here's what happened. I traded away Gary Payton. Listen carefully. I traded away Gary Payton to the Los Angeles Lakers for 2 first-round picks. I traded away Hersey Hawkins to the Utah Jazz for 2 first-round picks. I traded away Detlef Schrempf to the Orlando Magic for 2 first-round picks. And I traded Vin Baker away for also 2 first-round picks. So I really blew this team up. My starting here's my starting 5. I have Jamie Watson, some former slam dunk contestant, as my point guard. Then I have, and Rashard Lewis makes a 3. Yep, I have Rashard Lewis as my small forward. Yeah, Rashard Lewis as my small forward. I got some random guy named Joe Stevens as my shooting guard. And then Dennis Rodman as my starting power forward. I added him as like a joke because I just he was a really cheap free agent, so I needed someone to fill the seats. And then I have rookie Jerome James. Remember the great old Jerome James? Oh, out of bounds, Utah ball. I know, Jared. I know it's a lot to laugh about. I know. I gave you guys a lot to laugh. It's just wrong. I know. I know. It is, everything is wrong about this team. But here's the 99 draft. Oh, Karl Malone with the offensive foul on Dennis Rodman, and he had some words to say to Karl Malone. And Karl Malone's like, oh, you're just dying of laughter. Look how bad my Sonics team is. 24-47 on the season. The 99 draft, however, it is loaded with talent. It has Elton Brand, if you've heard of him. Steve Francis, a lightning quick point guard. Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, if you were old enough to remember all of that. So, yeah. And even the Birdman, Chris Anderson's available in the draft. You thought you saw Steve Scheffler? Well, where's Steve Scheffler? I don't have a white guy on my lineup. Steve Scheffler's not even available in free agency. If there was Steve Scheffler, oh, I 100% would have added him onto the team. But he's not available, which is really stinky. I would have loved to have Steve Scheffler as like a power forward. Francis won the 2002 championship with, no, I think that was like 98 or something, or 99. And now here is going to be Joe Stevens for 3. He misses the 3. Okay, Google. Did Steve Francis ever win a national championship in college basketball?
On the website statnews.com, they say Steve Francis didn't win any championships in his career.
He didn't win anything. Francis was a draftee in 99. Lakers are about to be in 3rd place, aren't they? Yeah, Jared. So, yeah, I'm trying to rebuild this team. I also have like 7 draft. Steve Francis wasn't even on the team. Steve Francis was on the Houston Rockets by that time. Now here's Rodman to Jamie Watson, and he makes another easy layup. Yeah, maybe you should look it up. You Google it, unless all you've got. Are you watching on your phone or your computer? I mean, if you have your computer, then you can do that. Now here's Jeff Hornacek. Yeah, you know what? I'll look it up. I don't want to play defense right now. That's how much I'm tanking. Oh, I have 8 seconds to go through. Yep, that was a close one. Oh, no, it's a steal by Jeff Hornacek. And now here is George Lynch with the dunk. I think it was the 2001-2002 team. Maryland Terrapins. It was Chris Wilcox, Lonnie Baxter, Steve Blake, Juan Dixon were the most notable players on that team. And now you're Steve Francis, or I'm sorry, Joe Stevens for 3. Yeah, you got me mixed up with Steve Francis. Yeah, Steve Francis, by that time in 2002, he was playing with Yao Ming, the #1 overall pick in the 2002 draft, and fouled by Rodman. Elton Brand, yeah, who's on Duke? Yeah, Rip Hamilton's also available in the draft. Manu Ginobili. So I'll have some choices. Yeah, we're the true basketball fan. And 2000 draft, if I tank again, I want Desmond Mason or Darius Miles on the team. But I have right now Rashard Lewis. He is one of my high scorers on the team, actually, if you believe it or not. Here's Stevens for 3, and he makes it. To make it even funnier for you, in that trade where I traded Detlef Schrempf to the Orlando Magic, I actually got not only 2 first-round picks, I got Dominique Wilkins, and I got him to start as a small forward on my team. And then I traded him back to Atlanta for first-round pick swaps. I just wanted to, alley-oop to Rodman. Of course Duke had so many teams that won championships. That's the thing. Duke are regular championship contenders. So, yeah, of course. You can say the same thing about North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas. Yeah, there's so many years that they all should have won championships easily. Now here's Jamie Watson to Jerome James with the dunk. Sonics are up by 7. Dominique was pretty much done by 99, yep. He even played with his brother Gerald Wilkins on the Orlando Magic, but he played a lot less minutes. And now here's George Lynch with the lay-in. Now here's Watson. And now a turnover, and that is Hersey Hawkins with the steal. And he gets the dunk. I don't remember Hersey Hawkins ever dunking, but yeah, I gave Hersey Hawkins to the Utah Jazz for 2 first-round picks. And Dennis Rodman with a nice pass to Jerome James. Fog Allen Fieldhouse a few years ago. Huh. Tell me where that is. I'm just very unupdated about it. There's George Lynch. Another easy dunk. Now here's James. And he makes it in. Oh, Kansas City Jayhawks, huh? And I think that's the end of the quarter. Yep, that's the end of the quarter. Here is Joe Stevens is leading the way. Jerome James is doing well. Watson already has 7 assists. Okay, Jayhawks Arena. I see what you mean. I actually got quite a bit of engagement. I have 9 people on the show. College basketball is so much better than the NBA. Yeah, I know what you mean. But right now, college sports in general is in jeopardy because of the NIL. Oh yeah, everyone was a huge fan of the NBA in the 90s. Absolutely. I was too. And even the mid-2000s, even the 2000s, and even 2010 was still pretty good. And then it got around 2016 to 17 was when the product started to water down badly. And that is going to be blocked, and that is going to be stolen by Andrew Gaze. And now here's Corlone Young, and he's going to go for the lay-in, and he gets it in. Penny Hardaway from the 90s, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Larry Grandmama Johnson. The list goes on of how great the 90s were. I can't believe there are Gen Zers and even millennials to this day, and the alphas are saying that 90s basketball was a joke. Space Jam. Remember watching Space Jam back then? I remember when I was watching Space Jam as a kid at a daycare center. Yeah, they were showing us Space Jam. That's when I first got exposed to Space Jam. What I remembered was they were showing Sylvester, and I remember watching Looney Tunes as a kid. And when Sylvester showed up chasing around Tweety Bird, whatever they were doing, I screamed, "It's the Pussycat!" Instead, it was supposed to be the Putty Cat. Hey, I see a Putty Cat. I always thought it was Pussycat the entire time. And of course, all the counselors were just laughing at me going, man, did you really just say that? Oh, and the foul by think that's Scott Williams. I gotta check if that's Scott Williams. Was that Scott Williams? How come I can't even see his name? Oh, he hasn't scored yet. That's why. All right, let's see if that was Scott Williams. All right, I don't care anymore. 96 Bulls? Yeah, absolutely. Can't believe there's people that think Golden State. They couldn't even beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's Young for 3. If they couldn't beat Cleveland, why would make anyone think that they would beat the Chicago Bulls? Brian Russell with the dunk. Yeah, Warrior. I mean, Dennis Rodman. Yeah. Scottie Pippen would have been guarding Stephen Curry. Yeah, come on, guys. There's no debate. Here's Gaze for 3. He misses it. Here's Brian Russell. Opster tag. And blocked by Mikey Moore. Rebounded by Williams. Now here's Williams for 3. And he hits the 3-pointer. Who was your favorite Sonics player growing up? I'll tell you mine. Mine was Jerome James. Or Desmond Mason. Here's Brian Russell. Here's McCoy. Here's Gaze for 3. And he's been struggling from downtown lately. Now here comes Cotton. And he gets the lay-in. Yeah, the 2002 Sonics. Yeah, they weren't that great. Here's Williams for 3. And Mikey Moore with the loose ball foul. Yep, Gary Payton. I can't blame you for it. I'm talking about favorite player, not the best player. My favorite player was Desmond Mason. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Yeah, 93 to 97. Yeah, the only era. It's true. You know what was weird in the 96-97 season? The Sonics, they won a 57-25. That was good enough for the second seed, won the division, and yet the Houston Rockets, who didn't win their division and had a same record as the Sonics, but didn't win the division, and they were the 3rd seed, they somehow still got home field advantage against the Sonics in the Western Conference semifinals. The Sonics should have had home field advantage. Now, granted, they probably would have lost to Utah in the Western Conference Finals anyway. But the point still stands. Sonics should have had home court advantage. Now, do I say that the Sonics would have won for sure? I don't know. You can't really guarantee anything. Here's Young for 3. And now I got to bring the starters out. Rockets won in 94 and 95. We're talking about 97. Here's Hornacek. And now McCoy with the rebound. Here comes Andrew Gaze. And now stolen by John Stockton. Here comes Jeff Hornacek. And he makes that layup. And I think it's going to be timeout. Timeout, Seattle. No, but the point is, how can you have the Sonics as a number 2 seed still not get home court advantage when Houston was a 3rd seed? And the only reason was because of the head-to-head matchup tiebreaker, which was still stupid. Then you should have given Houston the number 2 seed anyway. Yeah, they had Charles Barkley, but that was an old team. Here's Stevens with a shot. James with the rebound. And he misses it. Karl Malone with the rebound. Seattle was never able to guard Charles. Could they even guard Hakeem Olajuwon? And blocked by Lewis. Rebound, Rodman. Here comes Watson. Going to try the alley-oop. Nope. Clyde Drexler. Yep. He was pretty good. But that big three was a little bit over the hill. It was a good team, though. Don't get me wrong. Just did not work out for them. Oh, they did do very well against Hakeem. I remember it was like Terry Cummings and Sean Kemp that was mostly doing the guarding work. If only Jim McIlvaine actually played up to expectations, because he got like no minutes throughout the playoffs. They were using Terry Cummings as their starting center. Yep, you remember everything, huh? The Sonics really should have locked up Sean Kemp, but I do feel that even if the Sonics did extend Sean Kemp still would have blown up in weight in that 99 lockout season. So I think results would have been just around the same, along with Vin Baker. Stevens for three, and he makes it. Yeah, he was. He was on the team of the 96-97 season. That was Terry Cummings. He was on that team because Jim McIlvaine was giving them absolutely nothing on offense. The only thing he was giving them was blocks, which is good, but no rebounds. And Terry Cummings did it better. Now you're... Oh, and the foul. Rashard Lewis makes it, and he will go to the line. Yeah, look it up. Terry Cummings was on that team of 96-97. I can tell you that. I have now 11 people on the channel. This is insane. Now here's John Stockton. Now Lewis with the rebound. Here comes Joe Stevens. Now here's Watson. Lewis for three. And he gets it. Yeah, the other notable addition, too, was Craig Elo as their backup shooting guard, because they were trying to withstand against Nate McMillan's injury, because Nate McMillan's back injury was a huge problem from the 96 playoffs. And some say that if Nate McMillan was healthy, they would have had a little bit of a better chance against the Bulls. Yeah, Stockton was an absolute animal back then. Yes, he was. And he had longevity. That guy took care of his body like no other. I think he still takes care of his body to this day. There's John Stockton. Goes for a shot, and he makes it. Now here's Watson. And now Stevens for three, and he makes it. Rodman, he commits the foul. Karl Malone makes the free throw. And he makes the other one. Now Jerome James, nice post. Stockton for three. He misses it. And now here is Jamie Watson. Now here's Rodman back to Lewis with the jumper. And he makes it. All right. That Houston series was insane. Went to 7. The crowd was absolutely out of control in Game 6. Yeah, I think that is like a video that I should make. Like, I would say something like, that was probably the most underrated series throughout the entire thing, because it was completely overshadowed by the Knicks Heat series during that time. Yeah, because that got all the attention, but nobody gave that series any ounce of attention. Because other than that, it was the Chicago Bulls just steamrolling through the Atlanta Hawks. And the Lakers also steamrolled. No, the Jazz also steamrolled through the Lakers. I used to sneak my radio under my pillow late at night. What, you couldn't watch the game on TV? What's with everyone on the pillow? You're the second person that said this. Did you not have any cable in I assume that you lived in Eastern Washington because I have a friend of mine that also the same situation as you. That Houston series was insane. 7 games. Crowd was actually in control. Yep. No cell phones. Fans totally into the game. Everyone going to bars after a Sonics win, of course. No TV. My parents were Pentecostal. So you were all about. Okay, I see what you mean. What is Pentecostal? Isn't that like a totally orthodox, Catholic church lifestyle? You're Stevens for 3. You lived in Auburn. Now here's Karl Malone. Nice post moves by Karl Malone. Sonics are still winning big. Now here's Jerome James, and he's able to get the lay-in. James now has 10 points. And Karl Malone, and he's blocked. And Jazz basketball. Now you're Stockton with a jumper. Ostertag with the rebound and passes to Karl Malone with the dunk. So yeah, the 96-97 season or playoffs definitely deserves attention. Stevens for 3. Yeah, here's the thing. This is when you know the 90s were great. The Sonics were the hottest ticket in sports Seattle. Mariners were also a hot ticket back then with Ken Griffey Jr., A-Rod, Edgar Martinez. At least Paul Allen bought the Seahawks, so at least we didn't lose the Seahawks, I guess. We had Warren Moon. And then, man, what else was great about 90? My grandfather had really good health, at least decent health. And then after 99, everything kind of went to you-know-where. Here's Stockton. That's when McDonald's was all the fast food restaurants were actually real food back then. And Rashard Lewis with the layup. The flu game in the finals, game 5, yeah. Although there was a rumor that Michael Jordan was mostly a party monster. And there was a rumor that the pizza guys, because Michael Jordan ordered pizza, there was a rumor that the pizza boys spat on Michael Jordan's pizza, put a bunch of gross germs in there, which is why he got sick. 97 was the first year of Paul Allen's ownership. That is correct. Ken Behring was the last of it in 96. Here's Rashard Lewis for 3. Nope. And we really miss Paul Allen, and we're going to miss Jody Allen too. It's just too bad that they're going to end up selling the team. Game 4, NBA Finals is a classic. Yes, it was. That was when the Bulls had a pretty decent lead, and then the Jazz made an insane comeback. Jordan had a questionable foul call against him. And then Jordan was going for a shot, and it was, I can paraphrase it. Here's Jordan with a nice footer, nice jumper, no good. Rebound, Stockton, ahead to Karl Malone. Stockton Malone, the Jazz take the lead. It was something like that. But that was a very inspiring win for Utah at the time when they tied up the series. Here's Lewis for 3. Oh, yeah, the Delta Center, you were literally like this. You had to cover your ears for those kind of games. Delta Center, if you thought Key Arena was loud, Delta Center took it to the next level. Yeah, we're talking crazy. And also, it helps that Utah is a huge basketball city. I mean, Utah known for their huge Mormon faith. I played basketball at a Mormon church. I had a friend open for me to play pickup basketball. Oh yeah, they got basketball courts there in their churches. No doubt about it. Now here's Jeff Hornacek, blocked by Lewis, and there's Ostertag. Now it's Karl Malone, only to keep it to within 12. Now here's Jerome James. He's fouled, and he will go to the line. Now here's a jumper, and he makes it. And now here is to McCoy. He misses it. Rebound Hawkins, the former Sonic. He goes for the jumper, and he makes it. Hersey Hawkins makes the jumper, the former Seattle SuperSonic, who was traded away for 2 first-round picks. Here's James, and blocked. Here's Resprit. And now McCoy with the rebound. He's going to try to muscle that in. James lost the rebound. Now here's Hawkins for a shot, and he makes it. And Jared, if you care enough to be updated about how this entire season has gone in my 2K Sonics world, I have my Patreon page for just $5 a month. That way you can read all the articles, as I do consistently write the articles about how the team is doing. So that way you can get an idea of what went on throughout this entire season for a team that went 24-47 and still losing games. And he is fouled. And he goes for the free throw, and he makes it. Here's Resprit for 3. He makes it. Now here's Corlone Young. Resprit with a deep 3-pointer. Nope, he's not going to make that one. And a 3-pointer. I think that was Hersey Hawkins. Resprit wide open. And he makes it this time. Sonics are now up by 13 points. Trying to maintain a big lead on the Utah Jazz, which would be an enormous upset. Here's George Lynch. He gets the lay-in. Now it's 84-73. Here's Resprit for 3 again. Now here is Howard Isley. And that was Terrell Bailey with the shot. Funny thing is how I got Jerome James. That was also through trading Hersey Hawkins. Not only did I get a first round and second round, a first 2 first-round picks. I got Shandon Anderson, and I was able to flip him for Jerome James to the Sacramento Kings. I guess the Kings just wanted some scoring off the bench, and they were like, well, what am I going to do with this center? And that's how he ended up on the Sonics. Here's McCoy going up against Adam Keefe, and he's able to make that in. I have about 11 people on my channel. Okay, it's about 5, but I had 11 at one point. Oh, blocked by James. And now only seconds left. Here's Shammond Williams. He should take the last shot. He will for 3. Nope. He is not going to make it. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. After this, I believe I have like 10 games left. Now we're going into the 4th quarter. Mikey Moore is going to take over. And now here's Lewis for 3. He misses. And out of bounds, going to be Jazz ball. There's Adam Keefe. There's Malone. And he is fouled. There's also going to be another player making his Sonics debut. It's going to be Dante Jones. And Karl Malone misses the free throw. Yeah, Dante Jones, they brought him as a power forward. They just cut Bennett off the team. Now here's Watson. Now here's McCoy. And now here's Jones. He's going to try to post up on Karl Malone. Tries to go for the shot. Oh, he makes it. Dante Jones makes a fadeaway over Karl Malone on his Sonics debut. Welcome to Seattle. And the Sonics now are absolutely exploding. Now here's Hersey Hawkins to Cotton. Hawkins, and he makes the shot, and he makes it. That will silence the crowd immediately. And a steal by Cotton. Rebound Lewis. Now here's Jones. Goes for the jumper. Not this time. He had a little bit overconfidence. Now here's Cotton with a shot, and he makes it. That was a 3-pointer. And now here's Jamie Watson to Jones. He's wide open, and he makes it. Jones could be providing some spark plugging off the bench. Let's see if he does. And now here's Karl Malone. Nice post moves, and he gets it in. The Jazz are down by 10. And there's Watson. Nearly goes out of bounds. Let's see what Jones can do. No, he lost it almost. And now here's Jones. He goes for the hook shot, and he misses it. After making his first shot, it looked like he was going to have a really good game, at least good 4th quarter. Now here's Hawkins. Here's Adam Keefe. Hersey Hawkins. And he misses it. McCoy with the rebound. Gets it to Watson. And now gets it to Jones. And that's going to be out of bounds. But it is Sonics basketball. Here's Jones. And now here's McCoy. And he misses. And the fast break opportunity for Utah. Here's Jeff Hornacek. And he's able to get that in. And now they bring it to within an 8-point game. Here's McCoy with a shot. And he misses. I think you're going to have to start bringing the starters back in. Although they have most of their starters. I think they're going to take Jones out. A nice pass by Stockton. Stockton for 3. And Jones with the rebound. Now all the way to Stevens. And now here's Jones. Oh, with the dunk and the foul. Fouled by Karl Malone. He could not believe it. And he's going to go for the 3-point play. And he does make it. What a debut for Dante Jones. I think you're going to keep him in there. And a shot by Karl Malone. Here's Jamie Watson trying to get around John Stockton. Here's James over to Jones against Karl Malone. He makes him fall and he gets the lay-in. He is just making Karl Malone look absolutely stupid. And the crowd gets on their feet. They're going absolutely crazy. Now here's John Stockton for 3. No! Malone with the rebound. He's being guarded by Dante Jones. He goes for a really bad shot. And Ostertag's able to get that in. But either way, the crowd, they are really making themselves heard for Dante Jones. And now here's Jones. He's going to... No, he loses the ball. And now here's Jeff Hornacek to Brian Russell. No, he misses the dunk. He missed the dunk. And now here is Jones. Goes for a shot. Nope, he misses it. And now here's John Stockton. He's blocked by Lewis, and he gets the ball back himself. And now here is an advantage, and here's Watson with the dunk. And the Sonics bring back control of this game. John Stockton has been awful shooting today. And here's Stockton. Here's Hornacek for 3. Malone with the rebound. He's blocked by James. And now here come the Sonics. Here is Watson, gets it over to Stevens. And now here's Jones. He's going to try to go it all the way. And a defensive 3-second violation. Joe Stevens is going to take the free throw. And he makes it. Here's Sean Resprit. Goes for 3. Nope, he's not going to make it this time. Now here's Russell. And here's John Stockton to Karl Malone. Here's Stockton. He was nearly blocked. And Watson with the rebound. Here come the Sonics again. And here's Dante Jones being guarded by Malone. He's going to try to challenge him. And he goes for the fadeaway. Oh, he makes it. And timeout called by Utah. He's making Karl Malone look absolutely stupid. It's now 103-89. It's like Sonics fans are going to be really happy tonight, unless you're a fan of tanking and Stockton makes the shot. Still keeping it within 12. Now here's Watson to Jerome James. And he's able to get that in. Jerome James with now 14 points. Stockton with an awful 4 of 18. Can you do simulations with teams from different eras? Yes, I can. I have teams all the way from 1947 all the way to 2021. I just haven't updated it because I don't really care about the NBA after 2017, basically. Now here's Ostertag, blocked by James again. And they hear it from the crowd. Yeah, this was Karl Malone's golden years. Yep. This was a 99 MVP season. Now here's John Stockton. But too bad San Antonio got in the way. And now here is Brian Russell with the shot. And now here's Jamie Watson. He's getting through. Here's Rodman to Lewis. Nice pass. And with the dunk. How is Rodman doing in this game? Dante Jones is 5 of 9. Rodman, yep, he's been getting blocks. Jerome James has 4 blocks, while Rashard Lewis has 5. And now they really want to bring back Jones onto the team. I think they're going to give Rodman some rest. Shammond Williams is going to come on. They're going to put in Andrew Gaze because this game is pretty much over. Corlone Young will come in. No Greg Foster today. And now rebound Rodman, but they're going to call a timeout just to give the rest of the team a standing ovation. Curious what the 93 would look like against the Bulls. Well, you would have not had Detlef Schrempf, but you would have had Derek McKee, who I thought was a better defensive player. 94 Sonics, well, pretty much, well, Kendall Gill. So he would have had less defense than Hersey Hawkins, so probably a little bit worse. But I was always curious, like, what the 96 Sonics would have looked like against the 93 Bulls. Would they have been able to stop Horace Grant Bulls versus the Rodman Bulls? And I do argue that Dennis Rodman should have won the 96 Finals MVP. And here's Jones going for a fadeaway, and he misses it. He's going to go 5 of 10. Now here's Brian Russell. And out of bounds, it's going to be Jazz ball. Derek McKee, he was on the 93 team. But I thought he was a better defensive player than Detlef Schrempf. I hate to say it. Hawkins was on the 96 team. I was talking about Kendall Gill. Kendall Gill was on 94, I know. And now here is Jones. He is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. And he is all fired up. Goes for the free throw. He misses that free throw. They did have the best record in the NBA, but would they have beaten the 94 Knicks? I don't know. They probably would have went through the Utah Jazz, but then you would have been playing against the Houston Rockets in 94. Yeah, Detlef was on the 94 team. I know. That's why they traded Derek McKee for him. They wanted some, like, three-point scoring, like some good offensive scoring by Detlef Schrempf. That's why they brought him in. Now there's Andrew Gaze for 3, and he makes it. And that will just cap it off, and the Sonics are going to win this game against the Utah Jazz. And they almost made that shot. So you think they would have beaten the 94 Rockets? You think so? I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, no one knows for sure. I had 7 people on this channel. Got a lot of people watching, huh? Player of the game went to Rashard Lewis. Here's the stat lines. Joe Stevens with 24 points. Rashard Lewis went 4 of 6 from downtown for 21 points. Jerome James, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks. Primarily because of the trap defense that took out of Hakeem's hands. Yeah, and then when you have Charles Barkley in 97, no wonder the Sonics didn't have a chance. So the Sonics knew how to scheme against Hakeem Olajuwon. That's a fair point. I mean, you know your 90s Sonic stuff better than I do. I'll give you that because I didn't watch it. I didn't start following the Sonics until the 2003-2004 season. Yes, I have regrets not watching it even sooner. I have lots of regrets. Well, that's the games that I played. Now I have one more game in the month of March. Going to be finishing that. Right now I have, after I simulate this day, let's see where my power rankings are at. Wow. Charlotte's starting to win a little bit. Sonics are 5-9 in the month of March. They've been 3 of 4 in the last 2 weeks. Look at the Bobcats. Best team in the conference belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. Eastern Conference belongs to the Miami Heat. Yep, let's go Sonics. Tony, I think I know who you are. Here's the stat lines if you want to look at how my players are. You got Joe Stevens at 15 points a game. Like, he has been just an absolute scorer. Just look at him. He had a 34-point game and a 42-point game. Like, if you haven't been on his fantasy team, congratulations, because you deserve every bit of congratulations. And look how many 3-pointers that guy has made. Rashard Lewis, he's been a very consistent scorer. He's now at almost 15 points a game in his rookie year. Jerome James has been steady. Not so much of a great scorer, but he has been scoring. Rebounds can be better, but he's an excellent shot blocker. They got Andrew Gaze. Whatever, whoever this guy is. He hasn't really amounted to anything, although he is a 50% three-point shooter. And then Dante Jones, who made his debut. Jamie Watt, a lot of 10-point scores on this team. Watson has 8.3 assists. Like, these are his stat lines. 17 assists, 11 assists, 13 assists. AI has Sonics beating the Knicks in 7 games in 94. Well, they would have had home court advantage. Do you have AI saying if the Sonics would have beaten the Utah Jazz in the 97 Western Conference Finals? I doubt it. And would the 98 Sonics have beaten the 98 Bulls? Let's see what AI says. Would the 1997-1998 Chicago Bulls, Seattle SuperSonics led by Gary Payton and Vin Baker, beaten the 1997-1998 Chicago Bulls led by Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman? Let's see what ChatGPT says. Here it is. The 97-98 matchup between the Seattle SuperSonics and the Chicago Bulls would have been very tough for Seattle, but it's not impossible that they would have stolen a game or two, winning a full series. However, it would have been very unlikely. You're talking about, it would have been unlikely. Especially Vin Baker was much more of a softie. Yeah, that's why they couldn't even beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers absolutely destroyed them. Oh, man, I remember how much my father hated the Lakers because of that. Like, when I remember after the 98 playoffs between the Sonics and the Lakers, they were interviewing Shaq and Kobe, and my dad's like, oh, yeah, you see that guy? He's ugly. Oh, you see that guy Kobe? He's ugly. You see that guy Shaq? He's ugly. You see that guy Van Exel? He's ugly. He literally brainwashed me into hating the Lakers for years. I can't believe it. Yeah, Lakers really ripped him to pieces, yeah. So, but the 98 Sonics had some depth, though. You had Dale Ellis as your shooter from off the bench. You had Jerome Kersey. I know an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant already playing in the All-Star game. Eddie Jones, Eldon Campbell, I think, was on that team just for craps and giggles as a backup power forward or backup center. Nick Van Exel, Robert Ory, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher. Yeah, people don't want to admit how stacked that team really was. And then they traded Eddie Jones away to the Charlotte Hornets to get Glenn Rice because they wanted to put Kobe Bryant. They wanted to transition him to be a starter. I mean, imagine if Phil Jackson coached the 97-98 Sonics. They would have been even better than the one that Del Harris had, and the one that Del Harris was coaching. You, Denali. By the way, Denali's a huge Lakers fan, and he's trying to get me to be a Lakers fan, but it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, buddy. All right. Oh, I felt that at the time the Sonics value shopping for their bench all the older players. Yeah. Man, you guys are keeping me on this show. Like, usually when the game's over, I'm like usually done by now. But you guys are just keeping this going. Like, do I dare do one more game? Because I have like a couple videos to make. I have to make a video on Julio, a YouTube short on that. And then I have to make a video on John Schneider expressing his concerns on the state income tax. Man, you guys are just keeping me on here. If you're gonna okay. If someone donates, if I get a total, so usually I get like $5. If I get $10 by the time it hits 60 minutes, I will do one more game. No, I can't do the videos tomorrow. I don't have time tomorrow. I have too much stuff to do tomorrow. And plus, the next game I'd be doing is the Charlotte Hornets game, which I would probably want to lose that game. Do the 2000 Blazers beat? Oh, yeah. I also, Friday night, I don't have much time because I have to get ready for my trip to Arizona for Mariners spring training. I don't have that much time tomorrow. I'm also doing the Korea game. Man, I have 10 people on here. I'm telling you, if you guys can get me $10 by the 60-minute mark, I will stay for one more game. And you guys can talk. All right, what do we got? I'll do this. Do the 2000 Blazers defeat the 2000 Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals? This is for the 1999-2000 season. They play in Peoria. Yes, the 2000 Portland Trailblazers would have had a very good chance to defeat the 2000 Indiana Pacers if they met in the 2000 NBA Finals. Portland had far more depth. I mean, the 99-2000 season was loaded. I'm not going to do live stream spring training. I'm not. Rasheed Wallace, Scottie Pippen, Arvydas Sabonis, Steve Smith, Damon Stoudemire, Detlef Schrempf, Jermaine O'Neal, Bonzi Wells. Well, yeah, so yeah, Reggie Miller, Jalen Rose, Mark Jackson, Dill Davis, Rick Smith. Yeah, the Blazers freaking pushed the Lakers to 7 games. Problem was they were taking too many jump shots. Yeah, that Western Conference Finals was the finals. And then there's no question that the 2002 Sacramento Kings was steamrolled through the 2002 New Jersey Nets. No doubt about it. You guys got 1 minute to make any kind of a donation. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe that convinces you guys. Yeah, Brian Grant, he's kind of injured that year, though. But I do really got to go. But you guys are really tempting me to stay. But you want me to stay? Yeah, donate. Join my membership. If anyone at least joins my membership within the next 30 seconds, I will stay for you guys. You guys got 30 seconds, and I will do one more game. If not, then I got to go because I got to make a couple videos. Yeah, 2002, you had Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Doug Christie, Peja Stojakovic, and Mike Bibby. Denali, why don't you do it yourself too, Laker boy? I mean, this is the most engagement I've ever gotten from you guys. Maybe I shouldn't be extorting you guys, but I also got videos to do. If I wasn't having to make 2 YouTube shorts, because the other thing that doesn't help in my don't quit my day job, I have to wake up at 5 in the morning for my don't quit your day job. So I'm kind of limited on what I can do. You don't have a credit card. Okay. Are you a high schooler? It's got to be. All right. Well, I have people leaving the show anyway. So it's an hour in, but yeah, I understand, Denali. But yeah, Jared, I appreciate you for being here. Tony, I appreciate for being here. Denali, I appreciate you annoying me about the Lakers, but it's fun. Yep. Oh, yeah. I think you understand that, don't you? But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. But here's the thing. I still have... I'm gonna do a video on spring training. Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. I got 10 games left in the season, so you'll have 10 more opportunities to do a live streaming until the season is officially over. Then it's on to Major League Baseball. I'm doing this until basically the Sonics are back, if they ever come back. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, sleep is precious. I know. I don't have enough extra time. 10 o'clock is late when you're waking up at 5 a.m. Oh, but you guys are really keeping me on here. You really are. You guys are the ones that are keeping my channel going. Like, you guys just won't stop. Like, I really love the engagement that you gave me out of a show that almost no one really watches. I'm literally doing this for my own enjoyment. Basically, I'm just playing video games, recording myself is what I'm doing. But yeah, you guys have kept it alive because usually it's like no one's commenting. I've had nobody comment before. What? I'm 34 years old. My mommy's not going to write me a sick note. That's ridiculous. And I don't call out on my team. I am not a sellout. I want to be available for my team as much as possible for work. And at least this is not a 9-to-5 job. It could be a lot worse. But if I were you, if you guys have a 9-to-5 job, strive yourselves to do better and try to get yourselves at a 9-to-5 job. Please. I could not do a 9-to-5. Do not make me do a 9-to-5. The second I do a 9-to-5, I will be 990 pounds or 200 pounds by then. Well, I think that's going to be it. I am taking off. A lot worse, but depends who you are. But thank you, Denali. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Tony, for being on this show. Thank you for watching the Seattle SuperSonics beat the Utah Jazz 110-98. I think I will do the game tomorrow. Well, 9-to-5, you're in an office or you're in an environment where you can't really, there's like really no time freedom. No, I'm not. The actual Game 7 Western Conference Finals would be awesome. I mean, I could replay that. I could totally play the 95-96 Sonics versus the 95-96 Jazz. I can do that. No, I'm not leaving because I'm a Ram, because you're a Rams fan. No, I'm not. I gotta go, everyone. But again, thank you for this engagement. Like, this might be a record-setting night for me. But I shall be back possibly tomorrow. And I hope all of you guys are there because I need all the engagement. I said I would do a game if someone sent me a donation, but I got to go. I'm sorry, I do. I got some videos to make. But thank you again for being here. Seattle SuperSonics, baby. All right, I got to go. Bye-bye. Good night. Go Sonics. Bring them back.